The best of the best. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Glad you made it over, Swain, for Tennessee Day.
That's right. What other day would I be here? Tennessee, Joe Milton.
We were here. I did a couple interviews on Wednesday, and they kept introducing me. So-and-so, Cole Cubelic here on Auburn Day. I'm like, man, we got George in the house, and it's Auburn Day. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is right, man. What's the buzz on the plane with Auburn?
I mean, I think Hugh did a good job of this is crazy, but trying to temper expectations a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just, listen, they had some good wins in the portal. He did a really nice job upgrading the roster from a talent perspective. I mean, he went out, guys, he got best quarterback on the roster, best tackle on the roster, probably 2 best receivers on the roster, maybe the other best tackle, the best center, the best nose guard, best pass rusher, and maybe the best 1 or 2 off-the-ball linebackers. I mean, half the first 22 are probably going to be portal transfers that they brought in. So, now, as you guys know, that doesn't mean it's going to work. And this is where we discount, continuity and things like that. Like, do you get a Michigan State 2 years ago every now and then? Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Like, I think for Florida State it's working to an extent. But I think he understands, all right, we sold out season tickets. People are starting to talk about 8-9 wins. Like, this is still a process. It's still got to rebuild. And he's got a good staff. Now they have a little bit more talent. I think they can be competitive and dangerous, but that doesn't mean they're towards the top of the SEC just yet.
What's been your take on Tennessee's offensive line? I mean, because that was the concern with me last year.
Yeah.
And then this line surprised me, and they held their own on the road to LSU, Alabama, and some of the best pass rushers. So what are you thinking about this year?
I think first thing, Jason, is Glenn Edelby's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if because of that scheme, he probably won't get the credit he deserves, or people are always going to look at it as, well, you just go fast and you throw the ball around. It's like, put the Kentucky film on last year, and you'll see some guys just flat out kick and tail.
Yeah.
Now, you lost your 2 best guys, but you got a couple guys in. I think John Campbell's got a chance to be pretty good. Maybe you move some pieces around. Everybody knows how I feel about Javontes. He plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He's fun to watch. Mays obviously has been solid at center, so you have a good nucleus inside that I think you can build around. And let's be real, there are parts of this offense that can, I don't want to say ignore, but circumvent a dominant offensive line. But also, as you brought up, let's not pretend like this offense didn't get to where it was last year, largely because of the offensive line. They can shoot it around and they can go fast, but when they can slow it down and pound it, that's because of that group. And I think Tennessee's offense, this scheme under Heupel, the only way it can be its best is with a very good offensive line. And also, I've talked to a couple people today, the tight ends. They get no credit whatsoever. Like, no one talks about the tight ends. They insert those tight ends. They run split zone. They use those tight ends to do a lot of different things to steal eyes, open things up in the run game. They deserve credit, too. So I'm interested to see it. I think that could be one of the big differentiators between, 8 or 10 wins.
Cole Cubelic is with us. ESPN, the SEC Network, has the Cube Show you can check out as well. And then, of course, there's the Joe Milton aspect. Ton of talent. Now gets the opportunity again to be the starter. Where do you land in the conversation right now with Joe?
I mean, first off, he's been a big part of the conversation here every day, literally every day. Whether I'm on SiriusXM or my show, like, everybody's talking about him. And this is crazy. It's almost like when we had Tebow, and it's like, nobody will ever do that. And then we had Manziel, and we're like, nobody will ever do that. And then we had Cam, and it's like, well, nobody will ever do that. And then Burrow comes and does maybe more than any of them did, like just pure numbers. We had Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. Like, physically, no one can do those things, and like, he can maybe do more than those guys can do. Like, he might be the most gifted quarterback on earth. Just was talking about God-given ability. He's got to find a change-up. And I get a little frustrated when people talk about accuracy. And Jason, as a receiver, probably knows this. I don't think it's accuracy. I think it's control of velocity. I think that's much more important. And if he can find that, now sometimes the velocity it helps a lot. I mean, you talk about getting the ball in the perimeter in a hurry. Like, nobody gets it out there faster than him, or pushing it further downfield. He can do that better than anybody. The intermediate stuff, some of the quick game that doesn't need a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. If he develops that, finds that changeup, this offense is going to be dangerous. Receivers not – I mean, Jalen Hyatt was great, but I love the fact that Tennessee has numbers and different type of wide receivers. Like, Brew can be your big physical mismatch guy. Like, Ramel can kind of be your little bit of do-everything guy. Obviously, we know Squirrel White's your slot guy. And They tell me Dante Thornton runs like Jalen Hyatt. So
that's what I hear.
I don't know, man. Like it's if that's even somewhat similar, you're going to give people some problems because you got, and now you can add inside quarterback run. Like you can start running legit quarterback power. That's just another thing people have to defend. So
how much do you want to do it though?
With that dude, I don't care.
Well, considering freshman backup quarterback, we saw what happened last year.
With that dude, I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't know. I feel like he can handle it.
I mean, the last time
you might not open up with it, but I think as the season goes on, and depending on how people are playing you, Jason, if you got those stack formations out wide and people are playing 3 defenders out there, you better believe I'm bringing quarterback power with an extra blocker.
Yeah.
You talk about now are you not only down numbers, you just flat out don't have the numbers to be able to make those plays. So, if I'm getting those looks, I'm going to run it.
I think about Hendon Hooker in the Florida game, how beat up he was. But, like you mentioned, if you have the numbers, it's just you and maybe one other player, or it's wide open, and you shouldn't be taking direct hits where you're getting hurt in those situations.
Yeah, I feel like Joe's built a little different, man. Like listen, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I said on my podcast Sunday, I think Joe will have 2 500-yard games this year, and I think we'll have a game or two where we're kind of like, man, what happened to the offense? Like, what? How was it only 21 points, or what? Like, where'd the offense go? The inconsistencies will show up. It's just a matter of can he take that from 1 or 2 games, or will it be 4 or 5 games? We don't know because it's all got to come together.
Do you have an idea of those games, Cole Cubelic, with us? Like when you play the schedule game, they go to Kentucky the week after playing Alabama. That's not an ideal schedule spot. They get A&M at home after an off week, so that schedule-wise is more favorable. What do you think when you look at it?
A&M's a great matchup for Tennessee because they don't have the secondary to be able to manage. Like, okay, the defensive line's really good. As we just stated a moment ago, nobody gets it to the hash faster than Joe Milton. And you're going to have guys on the perimeter that can make plays. And I don't view them as a great tackling football team. And very rarely does that change from one year to the next. So now if Tennessee was going to try to run the ball 30 times between the tackles, I'd say that ain't a great matchup for you. You know, I don't think that. I think that's a pretty favorable matchup. And it's funny that you bring that up, Josh, because so many people ignore where games fall. And, you know, there's a couple of teams that have a couple of games that are in very interesting spots. And, you know, I think Tennessee has pretty good alignment in the schedule as far as how some of it plays out. But
like you told us before, I think the last time you joined us, not that Tennessee will lose the game, but going to Missouri in November the week before playing Georgia, not favorable.
Well, like I'll tell you this, like Florida November 18th, they're going to lose to Missouri.
Yeah.
I don't even need to tell you what the teams look like.
Cold.
They don't want to go up there.
Yeah.
That team doesn't want to be up there November 18th. They'll lose that game. So, and then they're just their ones that not only do you have to worry about the look-ahead game, but also, you know, do you let a team beat you twice? So you play Georgia, you play Alabama, you're competitive. Does that affect you the next week? And a lot of times it does. So, yeah, the schedule can be important not only with who you're playing that week, but the previous week and the following. Like, go look at Arkansas' schedule. I mean, it's a murderer's row in the middle of that schedule. And it's not just the teams, but it's like beat you up team, beat you up team, beat you up team, beat you up team, high up tempo team, beat you up team. Like, are they going to be able to walk in November?
No.
I don't think so either.
That's the answer.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, BYU, LSU, A&M,
beat you
Ole
up,
Miss,
beat you up,
Bama.
beat you up, tempo, beat you up.
Yeah, and then Mississippi State.
Oh, and then you got to go.
that off.
And then you got to go to Auburn the week after that.
Yeah, 8 straight weeks.
I mean,
that's brutal.
That's too much, man. That's just too much.
It seems like you're a little higher on Kentucky this year than maybe last year. Offensive line was
bad
last year. Thank you.
The only way to say it.
I was trying to be nice, but I like how you said it.
It's a rivalry game for you. You don't have to be nice.
You're right. How do you feel about Kentucky this year? Because I saw your rankings, Cole.
Yep.
Saw your rankings.
Mm-hmm. They're out there.
Something was wrong. Maybe it was my eyes. I think my eyes was crossed. I don't know about any glasses, but I saw where Tennessee was behind Kentucky. What's going on, man?
Well, after we get past Georgia, Alabama, and maybe LSU, some people want to put A&M there. I don't really think I'm there yet. We have all these teams that we have 2-3 things we really like, 2-3 things not to like.
Correct.
We just talked about Arkansas. I don't know if that secondary is going to be better, and it was atrocious last year. I don't know if those receivers are going to be near as good as what they – I mean, they hit a home run on Matt Landers last year. Like, I had Jake Fromm in a television production meeting tell me that Matt Landers looked like Randy Moss in practice. Now, when was the last time Jake Fromm played college football?
It's been a while.
So that tell you how long it took Matt Landers to go – he went to Toledo and couldn't find a way to get it done. Yeah. So you're not going to hit like that with all your guys. The offensive line's taking some big hits. They're switching defenses. They got a new offensive coordinator like that. Yes, KJ and Rocket are awesome, but that's also a lot of new, man. Like, we can talk about Auburn, all those portal guys. They're all better than what they had. That's a lot of new, man. And I don't know if that's going to work. So I look at Kentucky. I like the front seven. I love Brad White. Ray Davis does not get enough credit for how good he was because he played down the street and nobody paid attention to him. And SEC fans just, whatever reason, are ignoring Devin Leary. And the health is a concern, yes. But when that kid's playing, he's a better quarterback than Will Levis. Not more talented, doesn't have more ability, but he's a better quarterback than a better college quarterback than Will Levis. So they have the best receiver room they've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. And see, people push back on that. And I'm like, I'm not saying they're Craig Yeast or Randall Cobb individually, but collectively, it's the best room they've ever had.
Yeah, a lot of speed.
If they fix the offensive line just a little bit, they got a chance to be pretty good. I love Liam Cohen, and I think he can design some things to offset some offensive line headaches early. They can't get away with it all year. And look how that schedule lines up. You talk about building momentum, there's a good chance they're 5-0 playing Georgia. So they got a chance to really sort of build throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it a bit, Cole.
Don't like how good they could be, or just don't like what I'm saying?
Either. I don't like it, man.
I'm going to tell you guys, here's the problem in the league this year. All those things we like. Pick a team right now. Even Vanderbilt. They're going to have a really good quarterback, and they're going to have a receiver that almost nobody can do anything about. Now, they don't have a whole lot else, but that could be dangerous. We mentioned KJ and Rocket at Arkansas. Mississippi State has one of the most accurate passers this league's ever seen. Mm-hmm. Returning running back. Jaden Wally was a really good receiver 2 years ago. We just pretend like he never played. Most of their offensive line's back. Their whole front seven's back. I don't know how that offense is going to work. Like I asked Will Rogers yesterday, was the last time he took a snap under center? He said 1 in high school. 1. By the way, it was on the goal line coming out. If you have the confidence to do that there, why do you not have the confidence on a 4th and 1 from the 37 or 3rd and 1 on the goal line to do it? I said, when's the last time you turned your back to the defense? Jason, he didn't know what to say. He sat back. He's like, I guess never. He ran air raid in high school.
Yeah.
He's never done it. So they have good players, but they have a first-year head coach, and that thing's going to be totally different. Ole Miss, like that structure of that defense, they'll be 20% better against the run based on alignment. Literally. Because when you're playing 3-down linemen in this league, people are going to gut you. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. They put the A&M film on against Ole Miss last year. Whatever DJ was thinking in that game, playing 3 down the first few series, and it's like, Judkins. Like, bro, you going to bring somebody down?
Yeah.
I mean, it was too late when he did. A&M might have a culture problem. I don't know. I'm not accusing it, but Jason's been on teams where things have gone kind of south. Like, I've been on teams that we fired our coach in the middle of the year. You don't know it until it's way too late. And you can't go ask one person, you got a culture problem? Yeah, man, we got to go fix that. It doesn't work that way. So the Petrino thing can work. I think it's more, what is the core temperature of everybody's mentality in there? And if it's good, they have talent to be a pretty good team, So, I mean, Missouri, if they get quarterback figured out, Blake Baker's good, man. That D-line was nasty last year. They can be pretty good, but they got to get quarterback figured out. So there's every South Carolina, dude, look what they did at the end of the year. Spencer Rattler's back, and the offense is going to be easier. Their front seven's underrated. If Strachan comes back at edge and Mo Kaba comes back, like, they got a lot of guys on that D-line played a lot of football. They might be better. Tennessee might have a legit playmaker at linebacker now. Beasley's good, but they might have a guy who can change a game. This kid from BYU. So
Peely doesn't get brought up a ton, I feel like.
He can make plays, man.
That's an important addition for them.
What I'm hearing, Cole, is like everybody's going to be good this year in the SEC. So it's going to be tough.
It's just there's not many teams going to be great.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of really good teams. And
I just don't see many separators, man. I really don't. Like, everybody says what they say about Georgia's schedule. I think it's going to be hard for Georgia to win every game.
Yeah.
Because some of these teams on the right night, it's going to be tough to take them out, man. Like,
why Jimbo just didn't say that Petrino?
I can't answer. I have no idea.
Come on, Cole. You don't have any answers.
Did you hear him?
That makes no sense.
Did you hear him with Paul? If he would have done what he did with Paul, nothing. No one says a word. Calm, cool, collected, short, precise, and definitive, like you said. No, Bobby going to call it.
What? Just – okay.
All he had to do is say, Bobby's the offensive coordinator.
That's it. That's simple.
It was really cool. We had a cool conversation with you Wednesday. And I asked him about that, and he's like, listen, man, like, my ego's gone first and foremost. He said, but have there been times we weren't running the ball? And I got on the headset and told Matt Luke, call the next series. Or I told Ken Austin, I'm cold today, man. Like, you got to take it. I bet Josh will tell you the same thing. That either Alex has said, hey, man, give it a go. Or Josh is like, hey, I'm gonna take it for a series. And nobody got mad. Mm-hmm. He just figured it out. He was like, most teams just figure it out, and it's not always this guy.
Yeah.
But that's the whole conversation of the week now. Like you said, like, because I stopped you. I said, you realize how different than is and what everybody's talking about. He's like, this is all we've ever known.
Yeah.
You know, and, hey, listen, man, like, I'm an Auburn graduate. We know really good and well about not being able to share play calling. Like, that was a 2 or 3 year argument of who was doing it, when were they doing it, why were they doing it, and what the hell was happening.
Yeah.
So you're exactly right. It could have been completely put to rest, and it wasn't. And that's why all of these things happen around that deal. That's why I wonder, like, what's really going on.
Yeah.
Jim Chaney will be good for them, though.
Really good.
His personality, just that jolly kind of let's laugh about it, really good pre-snap movement, change the presentation, creative in the run game. I think if they let him, he can be a big benefit to them.
Cole Cubelic, you have Mac and Cube in the morning. You have everything you're doing with ESPN, the SEC Network. Now you have the Cube Show as well. You're a crazy person.
Let's see if we can add something this fall. I think we might be. So
yeah. So everywhere people get podcasts plus YouTube, they can check out the Cube Show as well.
At Cube Show 61 on YouTube. Trying to get it going.
Yeah, go there.
We're not very good at it, but we're trying.
It's football talk, so
you'll
like it.
It's a terrible show. It's so bad you should go watch it.
And you got pickles every time, right?
Wickles pickles, man.
Yeah,
they're good. Have you had one?
Spicy? Are they spicy and sweet?
You can get them spicy. Yeah, they're like tangy, sweet, really good.
Okay.
If you're a pickle guy, you need to try them. They're incredible.
Will do.
At Cube Show 61 on YouTube, and you'll see him this fall on Saturdays in the SEC Network. Cole Cubelic, we appreciate the time as always.
Thanks
Cole.
for having me, guys. You know I always love coming on with you guys.